Quick one, 30 minutes. Hopefully, we always say 30 minutes, but it always goes longer because the conversation is always so fantastic here. But we have Mimi, Timothy, and Dimitris, and myself. I used two ands there, but no worries. Today's episode is going to be an interesting one. We have the Japanese carry trade affecting markets. We are in a jittery place where today nothing is happening. It feels like we are again in the eye of the storm, just waiting to see what the data will say. But we have PCE data tomorrow, and next week we have a chunk of other data, and then December 19 and December 18 are turning out to be quite interesting dates to be paying attention to markets to see whether the Santa rally continues into the end of the year, or this is where we stay, or potentially we go lower and sell into the new tax year. We also have Ethereum that had an update. I want to touch on that a little bit. If you guys know, if you guys don't know, that's okay. But we know that Ethereum has been, I don't know, like I think it performed better than Bitcoin yesterday, which was actually nice to see. I don't want to say the A word, but also, yeah, don't summon the demons when we don't need to, right? And then we also have Microsoft rumors that apparently some of the sales quotas are getting reduced by major players in the AI products, but we know that Copilot is still light years behind. If OpenAI is behind, Copilot is even further away, right? And Google is ahead in the game. So we have to be paying attention to what happens with the AI story. In today's episode, we're going to touch on all those points. So make sure to pay attention. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. We're more than happy to answer. So first things first, what do you guys want to talk about? What do you guys want to talk about?
What's actually happening? It feels like we're just, a broken record right now. But for me, it feels like crypto hasn't really been doing a whole lot. It has had a mini relief bounce, but it feels like it's waiting for something. Maybe all markets are really waiting for something, a catalyst, data. I mean, inflation data tomorrow. I think one thing that's on my mind, and I'll hand it to you guys, is like the Japan carry trade. What is it, and how concerned are you about the carry trade unwinding? Because a lot of people don't actually know what it is, so I'm not really good at explaining what it is. So I'll leave it with you guys.
I don't know if you guys want to take it, but I can take it real quick. Like we're gonna do a video like explaining it a little bit more, but pretty much
explain this.
Yeah, the carry trade is it's the carry trade, right? So this is a currency trade that you do, and it's based on the interest rate that central banks have, right? So let's say, for example, I can borrow money from Mimi for 1%, and I can let Dimitri borrow it for 4% return, right? What I'm gonna do is, Mimi, give me $100, and I'm gonna give it to Dimitri's, and I'm gonna pay Mimi in a year, and then Dimitri's is gonna give me $1.04, like 104. Right. So I'm going to make that difference. Right. This is what's happening with currencies. The problem with currencies and the problem with international monetary policy is that it can shift. Right. So it's not like I'm guaranteeing that loan. I'm guaranteeing the interest rate, but the exchange rates can fluctuate. Right. So we have interest rates that can fluctuate. We have the exchange rates that can fluctuate. We have all of these different issues in the background that affect those two things. Right. So it affects the profitability of the trade, right? So right now, Japan is very cheap to borrow. I think the interest rates in Japan are sitting around 0.5%, I believe it is. Don't quote me on that. But then we have the American interest rate, which is sitting at 3.25. We have other places where this carry trade could happen, like Switzerland. I think interest rates are at 0%. So it almost costs you no money to borrow there. And then you grab that money and you make the difference. But you can also put that money into different assets. So you can put it into stocks, crypto, all of these different things that have higher returns. But what ends up happening, it's like if you see a shift in the interest rate, or there's a fear that the exchange rates could go up or down, like we're seeing the Japanese yen increase in value, we can see that shift. Right. So that's the thing that's sort of scaring markets, is the fact that right now, Japanese policy, they're printing money. And the fact that they're printing money means that they're likely going to have to increase interest rates in order to maintain that exchange rate and the validity of their sort of like debt system. So that's the big thing here. Markets are scared. We continue to see the bounces because the thing is just like the way that central banks work is that If they state something, the market would act in anticipation. So sometimes they don't have to act as strong as, because the market does the job for them just by them stating that they're planning to increase. So December 19 is the date that we're paying attention to this, because it's when the potential interest rate could happen. They already talking of the possibility of increasing those interest rates, and that could affect, right? Because the money printer has been on in Japan for a really long time, and now they're increasing the speed of which they're planning to do that, right? Because it's like even margin, you can borrow on margin in Japan, and then it's cheaper than borrowing in dollars or in pounds or in euros, right? So all of the big banks are using 100x leverage on these trades because they can make 100% returns very quickly, right? And this is where the risk goes, because if all of a sudden a leverage trade has to come back, we're talking about trillions of dollars in the currency markets that will shift drastically, and people will have to sell or get liquidated. So we've had moments like this before. In the past, in July, we had July last year, it was like a big impact, but we bounced right back because they cooled down, right? So it's just the difference. Whenever you get a sudden change, it's what creates the biggest problem. So something I'm paying attention to is Japanese USD exchange rate. So if we reach the levels that we reached around July, it's 160 and up. It's when the Bank of Japan wants to intervene, or usually intervenes. And if the money supply continues to go up, they are going to have to increase interest rates. So that those two things are playing right now towards that. But the market is, the good thing is like the market is anticipating this. So it's starting to price that in, and it's already been pricing that in. So the effects are not going to be as high. It's just to sum it up a little bit, just like 5 minutes worth of data. So that affects is just a macro level force, right? It's just big players having to sell assets in order to pay some of the leverage positions that they hold. So yeah, I want to do an episode where I dig a little bit deeper with graphs and everything, just because it's a little bit easier to understand whenever you're seeing the difference in charts and the difference in interest rates and all that stuff, right? But we'll keep you posted. We'll keep you posted for sure. It's something I've been paying attention, and I think if it drastically changes, it means that one of the last money printers that are still on in the world right now could potentially close its doors, and that could start affecting the money supply, the global money supply in a sense, right? So yes. Japanese carry trade, scary moment. I think we're so far in a good point. I mean, we've seen delevering. We've seen sort of the Japanese yen gaining strength. So that's also something that's beneficial. Maybe it allows the Bank of Japan not to act. But we'll have to see. Only time will tell. I'm paying attention. December 19. December 18, we also have the inflation, the CPI data for November. So that's going to be very interesting too. So that week's going to be heavy. Heavy. But yeah. That's Japanese carry trade, pretty much summed up. But
any questions? If they do act, it's basically already priced in.
Correct. Right. So we could see like a small move, but we'll probably retrace it back at the day of the event, because markets prep for this, right? Like markets are like, the price of a stock is not the price of today, it's the price of in the future, at some point in the future. And we're expecting those things to change. So it's been getting priced in. We have seen sort of like the market move in anticipation to that. So we're expecting, as long as it's not a big surprise, we should be fine. Yeah. We also heard the AI rumors. I don't know what you guys been hearing on the AI trade. I know Dimitris wants to like delever from tech, but tech has been the thing that's sort of been paying at least this week, right? It's been an interesting couple of days, just because we've seen sort of like a couple of the AI plays, like Nvidia was finding a footing.
It's a positive development, by the way, what happened with the AI, not the Microsoft incident yesterday, which they came immediately and refuted the rumors, and they said it's not true. And by the way, I don't know if you guys are aware about the leather jacket. Jensen Huang went to Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Fantastic episode. If you want to drink the Kool-Aid.
I haven't seen it. I'm going to listen to it tonight. So I know exactly.
As soon as it came out.
Because they are long, I wanted to take my time and listen. But the AI trade, so we were waiting for the market broadening for so long, and we're not getting it, but we're getting the AI broadening. So now the target of the short sellers and the people that miss the trend and they want to be heading on something, it was just Nvidia until 2 weeks ago. Now it's Google. And you know what? If you ask me, I think Google is a better position than Nvidia, not because they make better AI chips, but because they're like more diversified.
Correct.
Yesterday or 2 days ago, Amazon came with their own presentation of AI chips. Okay, we know they're not as good, but still, someone else is joining the party. That's a positive development in my eyes, because it's not just one player dictating the high valuation, the market cap keep increasing. Let the money to spread around, okay? And then from there, it's going to go to smaller players. So that's a positive development. The negative development was yesterday, the ADP employment data came 32,000 lower than estimates, which is quite different than the revision of October, which was plus 47,000, which tells me that the PCE numbers that we're going to get in the next days, if it comes lower than estimates, not 0.1%, but like much lower, it's code red.
Yeah, we could see drastic cuts.
If inflation comes lower down, like all of a sudden, it means the labor market run into trouble. And that's my worry, the labor market. I'm worrying about the labor market. I'm not worrying about the AI. I'm not worrying about NVIDIA. The carry trade, I could care less, honestly, right? Because they do what they do. It's not gonna destroy the market. It's gonna have
macro headwinds.
It's gonna have volatility. And if you're invested like without leverage, you have nothing to worry about. But now if you're trading with leverage, that's a different story. But I'm not. And I guess all of us on Etoro, we're not trading with leverage. So, but the employment data is what worries me, and we get them. We're not getting them in real time. So I'm paying attention to the inflation data. Obviously, the Fed next week, I think it's a guaranteed.
It's a guaranteed cut. Market is expecting an 80%
cut. Yeah, and then we go from there. One last thought on crypto. I was just walking earlier, and I was like, you know what? Is it possible? And I'm just speculating now. I don't know shit about crypto. I'm just looking like from a macro thing, like the price action and all that. Is it possible that was like a mini bear market?
Kind of. I mean, the thing is like we got a major shakeup. You know what I mean? Like the liquidity problems compounding with the fact that like it was de-risking, it was get money out, it was take profits. Like year to date on the cryptos, right? Like if we look at a year performance, well, I was looking, it's like,
and everyone that was waiting for a bear market or the end of the cycle, and I get that part. So with this now, it got out of people's system, like, okay, we're waiting for the drop or whatever the mentality is. So is it possible? Is it possible that was like the bottom or on the other bottom? Just a thought. I don't know shit about crypto. You guys know more than me. But just a thought. I wanted to hear you guys' thought on this.
It's dangerous to call a bottom. You know what I mean? It's dangerous to call a bottom in crypto.
Yes.
The volatility is there. Let me ask you, just before we touch on the crypto part, just to touch a little bit on the Fed, just to get your thought, Dimitri.
Yes.
So we know that the cut is guaranteed, right? But do you think that he's going to come out hawkish or dovish? Because the thing is with the ADP report that we just got, he should come out a little bit more dovish. It's what we're expecting, at least for January, right?
Okay, so if he comes out dovish, then the market is going to price in a January cut. And I don't think he wants to put himself in a position to guarantee another cut. So it's going to be a hawkish cut. So he's going to cut, then come out and say, we're going to take him month by like we're waiting for data and his usual nonsense.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's not going to be a dovish, like, so when you say dovish, I have in my head, like the pandemic, we're not thinking about, that's my dovish. And the hawkish is like, just before the hiking cycle, something in between. But for most people, it's going to be like a hawkish cut. We're going to get the cut, but we are in a position that he cannot put the market sentiment into expecting another one in January.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think we've entered a cutting cycle, right? And the question is when are we going to stop that cutting cycle? And I think January they're going to cut. Like, in all honesty, I think they're going to cut because the data is going to come up bad. But I think he needs to come in neutral and say, hey, we still don't know, data dependent. We still don't know, data dependent. But the data is coming up. Like, the data continues to surprise to the downside. We know that everything that we're getting is still going to get revised down. So I think we continue to get cuts. It's just they're not going to give you that clarity.
So the CPI is after the FOMC.
Correct.
And they have no idea what the CPI.
Yeah. We have the PCE. We have the PCE, which is good. But that's, I think that's for September that we're getting.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. So it's like we're getting such delayed data and we're not getting October.
Yeah.
It becomes difficult.
They probably know less than us. Okay.
Correct. All right. So let's talk about the crypto side. Crypto. So is this the bottom? You heard it here first. Market Boss.
There's a theory. There has been a theory going out. Very unpopular opinion, I'm sure, is that the 4-year cycle is long gone. We've been having mini bear markets and not having known it. For example, since January, we had the rally from like November, December into January, right before Trump comes in as president, and then everything just tanks until April. And that's their bear market, and that was the bottom. And so we keep going up and keep going down, but traditionally they're called corrections. But there is a theory going out that there has been, what if we are just having mini bear market? Bear markets are just very short, and then we rally back up. There's just that, or I need to tread very carefully of what I say here, because there's right now, like the bears and bulls are at war to some extent. I had a really funny thought today, which I shared with my community, and I said, what if what we're going through right now, both bears and bulls are actually right. The correction to bears, it's not a correction, it's broken structure, but to the bulls, it hasn't broken structure because Bitcoin hasn't fallen below 75K, because 75K apparently, according to most bulls, is that's the line in the sand. For bears, the line in the sand was the 50-week moving average second close. So could that have been the bottom? Look, I've presented both sides, bear and bull case. I am much more bullish than Timothy is, and I'll let Timothy speak about that. But I say if that bottom wasn't in where we're very close, I'm still leaning on the side that we are still going to see a rally. But this relief rally that's coming, it really depends on how strong that is. I'm going to de-risk into it, but I'm still mid to long term bullish. So that's just my stance. Timothy.
Can I show my screen?
So you guys
go for it. Let me. What does the chart say? You know what I mean? What does the chart say?
Mimi, are you blind?
All right. Do you see the green box? We're not in the green box. How come? Look, I'm just looking at what the charts are telling me now. So I was very bullish a few weeks ago, but once we started to break structure, I flipped. And I can flip bullish anytime if we reclaim certain levels. Right now, I just see a lot of more probabilities to the downside that the market has broken some important levels, and it has some work to do to become bullish again. So I'm not gonna lie, there is still a probability that the bull market resumes. I'm not saying we are definitely in a bear market, but my assumption is now that we are, because that's how I see the charts. We have topped after month 35, just like we did last cycle, just like we did cycle before. The price also had a close below the 10 moving average on the monthly chart, which has never happened this cycle. So also another line we broke. And in terms of time, we're exactly where you want to expect a top in the cycle. for the bear market to start. Now, we have discussed before, there hasn't been a real euphoria phase. So that's what we have been saying in the past. And there is indeed this theory. We are probably going to see a bear market that is much shorter. Why? Because we have seen another time in the cycle last time where the market really went up pretty strong here. If you remember 2019, it went up from the lows to the highs was around 350%, which is still pretty substantial, right? And then the market had around 7-10 bars of downside action. Um, of course, we had the COVID dump, so you can say until this price 6 months. So let's say we are indeed in a mini bear market. I don't know about you, Mimi. Is that short enough? 6 months of bear market.
Is it short
So
enough or is it long enough?
I would agree that a short bear market around 6 months is possible, and that we then
Yeah.
resume higher
Yeah.
for the beginning of the next cycle. So it's perfectly possible, in my opinion. But in the short term, I mean, yes, we could have a bounce here, test 107K even. I have some trades that I opened here, and I'm looking to sell into resistance. But eventually, I can see us just go higher and then make that lower high, and until let's say May at least, that we form a bottom. Who knows? 75K is the bottom. I personally think we're gonna go much lower. Um, just looking at how cycles acted in the past, but everything we say here is just us trying to prepare for scenarios. This is not mm, what I will be thinking in 3 months. So I'm just preparing for every scenario that might happen. If the market is gonna move higher and reclaim that 107K level, I will open trades too long again, and I will even open trades too long at 100K and take a long trade until it hits, let's say, 107K, because those intra range trades are also very good to capture some profits. Um, if you're just buy and hold, I mean, I have a wallet where I don't touch my Bitcoin and I don't even care what happens. So if you're that kind of guy or girl, I mean, that's perfectly fine. You're probably gonna outperform everyone by just buy and holding. But you have to stomach the volatility. The thing is, my strategy on Etoro is to capture the bull run and avoid the bear run, the bear market. So that's what I'm trying to avoid now, a little bit of capital protection. Do some trades here, but don't over allocate. I've been shifting some of my money more into commodities, gold, silver, palladium, to capture those gains, and also some um, staples. So consumer staples are very undervalued based on the S&P 500. I'm talking about Walmart again, Nestor. I'm talking about Costco. I'm talking about PepsiCo, Coca-Cola. All these companies are undervalued based on the S&P. So compared to the S&P, and I think everywhere you look, there could be a bull run. And right now, the probabilities is lower on the crypto side and a bit higher on some other sectors. So I'm just looking at what's more probable to bounce compared to the other categories. That's my
Let me
thoughts.
ask you. Let me ask you. What are your thoughts on Ethereum, though?
Well, to be honest, I took a leverage Ethereum trade this morning.
Long?
I think Ethereum is usually the last mover on the cycle, and this is maybe what we could see this cycle as well, where Ethereum is gonna outperform Bitcoin in December. We also saw Ethereum have a decent bounce against Bitcoin here. So finding some support and making a higher low here. So I'm looking for a continuation and outperformance against Bitcoin. Now you would think, what is the leverage play I did? It wasn't on Ethereum. It was on a company called Bitmine Immersion Technologies, and they hold a lot of Ethereum.
Wow.
And the thing is, they had a valid bullish swing trade, so taking out the low here and closing a strong bullish candle after taking it out. That's for me a bullish sign for me to take some position in. And you can see these candles was up 3000%. So that's what I'm trying to capture here with some bullish momentum for Ethereum. Now, yeah, of course, this is more risky than Ethereum, but they hold so much Ethereum and their NAV is trading like only 30% of what they hold. So that's why it's so undervalued right now. And Tom Lee is also a investor in it. So
yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that was the one that had related. Okay, now that we're starting talking about tickers and tickers, Dimitris, quick and easy. What are you paying attention to and why? Quick and easy, fast. We got 4 minutes left.
Consumer staples.
Okay. What in particular, though? What are you liking?
As I said it before, BJ's. BJ is a consumer staple in the wholesale sector. Is not retail like Walmart, because I have Walmart. It's my version of Costco. Okay. It's cheaper. They just announced yesterday 3 more locations in the Midwest and in the South of the United States. So it's an early innings play for, in my view, it's like a 10 bagger. In the next 10 years, it's a 10x. It's a small cap, so I'm looking to increase that. And actually, it's a good price point right now. But at the same time, trying to get out of tech and enter that. And Walmart, this is, tech is so expensive. I mean, what am I buying? Am I buying NVIDIA now? I have so much NVIDIA. If I didn't have NVIDIA, yes, but I have so much NVIDIA. Am I buying more NVIDIA now? So that's my thinking. So I have to get...
Well, after watching the Jensen and Joe Rogan episode, you're gonna buy more. Like, I'm telling you, I watched it, and you're gonna buy more. You're gonna buy more. Like, listen.
Like, really, I mean, it's not that...
It's that good. It's that good. Yes.
He wasn't interviewed by a tech guy. He was interviewed by a comedian.
Exactly. But the thing was, like, you get a different perspective on this. Like, you get a, like, watch it, and we'll talk next episode. Mimi.
Wow. I had so much I wanted to talk about, but I'll speak about it more next week, because I wanted to talk about Tau. And Tau, which is the native token of BitTensor. But in one line, what is Tau? What is BitTensor? BitTensor is Tau is a cryptocurrency. BitTensor is the network. So BitTensor is essentially a network that incentivizes intelligence, and it follows Bitcoin's model, where miners come in, they create AI agents, they provide value by solving problems, and then they receive Tau as an incentive. But it's basically revolutionary, and I want to talk about it more, but I'll leave it till...
We'll do an episode. We're going to do an episode on this. Mimi and I are going to do an episode, so stay tuned. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. I'm actually paying attention to Adobe. It's something I'm very closely paying attention to. I think that they have earnings next week, and I think it's a very interesting position right now. I think, talking about tech, I think software in this particular case, this one is undervalued. I'm going to be paying attention to the Firefly sort of like margins, interest, demand, all of that stuff, just to see if the Microsoft fears are real, where we're seeing a slowdown in the AI adoption products, but also just like I just don't think they're going to lose their moat, right? So something to pay attention to for sure. I'm probably going to do this live stream of the earnings. Like, it just, man, like a 13 forward PE on Adobe.
No,
I bought
okay.
yesterday. I bought yesterday. I increased my position. Not
You said
by a
buy.
lot because I'm still
Buy.
waiting.
Buy.
But you know, it's a high risk one. So it's like allocate a little bit just because it's an earnings play. I'm just like they have a
Why
lot
is
to
it high
prove.
risk?
You know
Tell me,
why it's
why is
high
it high
risk?
risk?
Because right now, like because it's the catalyst is just next door, right? Like the company's expected to move around 8% after earnings. It could go up or it could go down. We just don't know, right? So and it will matter what the guidance will be, right? It will matter
Yeah,
is
but
how they talk
it's a
about it,
great
and
company.
it's fantastic.
It's a
Yeah,
wonderful company. It's undervalued.
but it is like it's 50% down from the peak. You know what I mean? So it's like this company could continue to see, like, if they continue to shed, like, if the thing is they haven't shed any revenue or any earnings per share, but if they do, this could get ugly, right? Like we could see the earnings per share starting to go up and all of this different. So there's many unknowns. The products and the modes, I believe, are strong, but the market doesn't seem to agree with that. We've seen like from the start of 2024, we've seen it go down almost 30%, right? So again, I'm this is an earnings play for me, and if I like what I hear during the earnings call, I'll probably stay in the stock. I'm paying attention. Yo, Timothy, last thing. Last time we did something we were thankful for Thanksgiving, and we want to know what you have to say.
Wait, Mimi raising her
No,
hand.
go, Timothy.
No, Timothy, go. Mimi wants to say what Timothy's.
No.
Timothy is thankful for meeting Mimi. That's right. But Timothy,
I am very thankful for meeting Mimi. I already met her in London last time, in UK last time on the summit.
Yeah.
No, I'm very thankful of all the AI tools we are getting. Because
the AI developer talking about AI tools. Okay.
All day, all night. It got me a lot of opportunities this year. Giving a presentation on the summit, working with some cool people in the background on some apps, making my own apps, shipping content like no other. So no, that's what I love about AI. That it's just doubling myself 10 times. And yes, of course, meeting all you and having all the viewers every week here is what I'm thankful for.
Nice.
Yo, by the way, I don't know what just happened, but Meta is exploding to the upside. It's 5% up today. It just happened.
Wow. Nice.
I'm not sure what's going on. Check out the chart. Timothy, do you pay for TradingView?
Yeah.
Did you get? Man, I wanted to buy it in Black Friday and they didn't let me because I didn't give them the money in time. Yo, I don't know what's up. I'm up. Finally, I'm green. Let's go.
It's up 5%.
Right?
And
but what happened?
I bought here.
Nice. To the moon. At 600, it was
newsletter, and you bought as well.
The last four.
I guess 600 is like a gift.
If you follow my newsletter, you would have bought.
Exactly. So don't forget to check out our portfolios. Make sure you follow us on Etoro. We post a lot during the weeks. We also check out our portfolios. Mimi has something to say. And check out Timothy's course just before I let Mimi speak, because it's free for Market Bus people. So yes, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Mimi.
Just a part of the crypto. What Timothy was saying is like, just because Bitcoin isn't going to make another new all-time high doesn't mean that some alts won't. Not financial advice, not at all. But just because Bitcoin won't make another all-time high doesn't mean Ethereum won't. So that's all I wanted to say.
Don't say the A word. Don't say the A word.
No,
people get upset. You know, people don't call that demon. Let me have a look. Meta shares jump 4%. Zuckerberg plans to cut 30% for metaverse effort. Okay, so he's cutting up the metaverse and expanding it in AI. Okay,
he's basically
that's why
he's cutting the nonsense.
It's not nonsense. It's not nonsense. You have to believe. You have to believe in the suck. You have to believe.
Mad every time.
In the sense, it didn't have any return on the company.
But the thing is, it's like it's a future investment. You know, it's innovation.
Yeah.
Believe.
Yes.
I think they're gonna. The glasses. I like the glasses. Meta's gonna pump. All right. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave them in the comments. Leave them in the chat. We'll make sure to answer them as best as we can. Remember that this is not financial advice. This is what we're doing with our portfolios, and you can check out our portfolios and copy our trading activity without having to do the research. We do it for you, and we make the trades because we make money from this. If our assets go up. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and peace.